It's over.
We were making sure we heard
Each
We
other.
were coaching each other.
Exactly. So they've heard. They've heard each
Back
other.
inside that type A personality again.
Okay. So what did you guys come up with? Terry and Donna, we'll let you go first. Who's speaking for you?
I can talk. This is Terry.
Okay, Terry, go ahead and talk. Is it cold over there, by the way? Is it warm?
No, it was really hot here today.
Yeah, she likes to tell us how warm it is.
So what's that, like 30 Celsius, I think?
Yeah, like
Whoa.
Yeah. Should we tell her what we are?
Yes, hey, it's pretty good by the time we.
By the time you leave work today, right? It was what, -8 in this morning?
yeah, mine
Yeah.
says mine +6 this afternoon.
And that's Celsius, yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. We're
Yeah.
+6 today, so never mind. We'll be getting to the 30 soon.
Hey, +17 on Thursday.
Yeah, that winter. I mean, you haven't had like tons of snow, have you?
No, it's been not too bad. All right. So you were telling us when you guys come up with before I distracted you.
Yeah, so Donna suggested that, maybe we'll look at his unfinished problems, in our projects. And, to see if there's like a pattern. And then if we kind of walk him through each of the steps that he goes through in, like, setting up the goals and then, kind of like, so what are you feeling when you're going, to try to identify, how does he feel as he goes through the process and then maybe see where it starts to go south. Because, we've got that whole thing about goal setting and high but achievable goals and that kind of stuff and kind of just, use what he's got, his failures, if you will, we wouldn't call them that, but kind of, coach him into, well, what if, how do you think you could, change that step or something like that, you know what I mean?
Okay. So looking at what he's doing and helping him to start seeing himself as doing that, completing that process.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that,
And then, once he has some awareness, see if he wants to apply that to the new project.
Yeah. So are we starting a new project? Are we continuing from one? Any of those matter?
We want to get a success. So we're going to take one that he hasn't completed
Okay.
and complete it.
Okay.
So we're going to take a project he started
Okay.
and we're going to bring it to fruition.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that he has a success there.
And coaching is about trying to get client to success, right? It's about results. So Harold is saying that they would want to go and work from a project that's already started to get him to fruition. And I don't know if it matters so much whether he starts a new one or he continues with one. The goal is to get him to actually go through the process, right? Yes.
Well, for us, we would like also to check on his level of experience, whether the project he's doing are new to him or it's something that he's very experienced of. Another thing that we could look at is the priority. What projects are high, medium, or low priority? And for each priority, we're going to make a timeline for that. And another thing that we would like to suggest is look at what support would he need, probably,
Yeah.
and what are his possible pitfalls. It's very good when you talk about accountability, that before you even start doing a project, you have to recognize that way before you even
Yeah,
start.
where's the roadblocks?
Yes, right.
What are the possible roadblocks and what are some contingencies?
So the timeline would help in monitoring, so when you have the timeline, you have activities or initiatives that you would do, you would check on the progress and you will just monitor and control as a coach.
Okay. So we don't use control in coaching, but we monitor.
Okay, monitor. Or supervise. Follow through.
Yeah.
Champion and celebrate success.
Celebrating,
Yes.
absolutely. Acknowledge, right? With those clients, we really need to acknowledge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you, I hear you. This is what you're doing. Great idea, and celebrate those successes because he's had no success,
Yeah.
right? He's been struggling. He's got all these projects, and he's coming to you as a coach, and he needs somebody to. He needs a cheerleader. He needs a champion. He needs a celebrator. He needs a motivator, and he also needs structure, which I haven't heard anybody talk about. Right?
We took the same kind of tack to If you're coming in voluntarily, okay, so what do you wanna finish?
Exactly.
What one most do you wanna finish? And then
Yes.
breaking that down into the pieces, along that. And then what does that look like and what does that feel like? And I think we can try and help him step by step. And he might not finish it all by the time we meet again, but it's about just doing those check-ins and what does that feel like, and trying to build that confidence and that, I would think, happiness and excitement of getting closer to that completion. And then I think too, we talked about, I didn't cover that.
Oh, that's, can you elaborate
Oh.
on, to delve deeper and build the awareness? Because the more he's aware of what he wants, he, she, they, the more they're aware of what they want, the more emotional buy-in they have and the more willing they are to move forward. So then everything else falls into place and then you can build a plan after that.
Yes.
And then kind of from there, you could start building on, okay, so what, is there, as you delve more into it, is there a common stop point? Or is it different, or how does that, like, is it where you hit a specific resistance,
What
or?
makes it stop?
Yeah, what makes it stop?
Where does it fall off the rails?
Yeah,
Yes.
so.
What thoughts, what kind of self-talk are you having? What are you seeing? Has anyone thought about helping him to create a structure, right? A plan, but structures that would hold him up. What are some things that keep you from falling off the rail, right?
Yeah.
What are some things we need to set in place to keep you consistent? So for instance, a client who comes in and he has several projects going at the same time, what would a structure look like for him? What could be a likely structure?
I think that's where you would want to go in and go, where have you done things that have succeeded and find something that has worked for them in the past.
Yes, you could revisit past successes. What worked well for you then? Have you ever finished a project? What is one project that you've started from start to finish and you completed it? What did you use? What pattern? What was happening then? What was different in your life then? Because you know what? If he's coming, exactly. If he used to finish all his project when he was single, and now he's married and he have 2 sets of twins and 5 children under 5, is it realistic for him to expect to finish any project? No, right? Especially if he has a full-time job, right? So our realities can change. And then maybe the coaching then might be around expectations, right? What is reality? What is realistic? So we talk about what is reality in coaching. Sometimes our clients are expecting their realities to remain the same when it isn't, right? They have expectations of themselves that is unrealistic. So what would that look like? What has changed in your life that has moved you from completion to not completion? Maybe he starts a job where he travels a lot more now, right? So he's never home. So structure might be, let's finish one before we start another, right? Because if our attention is split, right? If I spend 5 minutes on this project, 5 on the other, 5 on the other, I am making progress. I'm just not making progress that's
My milestones are greatly increased.
Exactly. But if I have one project and I spend 25 minutes on that project every day, I would be able to see a visible progress line. But if I'm only spending 5 minutes on 5 different projects, then I'm overwhelming myself. So sometimes our clients set stumbling blocks in their way. And so we have to help them identify, would it make sense in your mind? Which of those projects would you want to complete first, right? Do we tell the client which one to do? No. So we want them to identify the one they want to finish the fastest. We can go to a process, we can do the pros and cons list, right?
Yeah.
Pros and cons list of which one prioritize, but we don't get to decide for them which one they have to do. They get to decide that. Questions, comments, anything else you guys want to add online?
I think
Terry,
sometimes too, in terms of building that structure, it's about also, so a lot of times it does come down to time.
Yes.
So, and when it's protecting that time.
Yes.
right? So I know a lot of individuals, I've been guilty of it myself, I block 3 hours in my calendar for admin. What's the first thing that gets filled up because nobody wants to do admin, right? So it's, oh, don't worry, that, you know, and then everybody knows that you block your calendar for that amount of time, that time, whenever, right? So it's just to make sure that when you are making the time, that you protect the time.
Yes,
That's why I work and the earbuds go in.
Door shut.
yeah, so
Make a zone.
you do have to, time management becomes an issue,
Yeah.
right? And decision making becomes
And
an
a
issue.
prioritization.
Prioritization. So all of the pieces that the coach is skilled in helping the client